What's going on, everyone? Chris here with Clutter Reduction. We're waiting in the dump line right now. I just got off of Andrew's live, and I'm just kind of bored. I don't have anything to do because I sat in the doctor's office for 3 hours and did everything on my phone already. So, yeah, we're going to go here, drop off the trailer from yesterday's Scene Lane facility job, and then we are going to go to drop off a recliner that we were selling, and we're going to charge an extra $60 to deliver it. It's like pretty close to me, but it is upstairs, so quick little 60 on top of the 50 for the selling. And then we may be picking up a large sectional couch later today for a realtor who, it was supposed to be in April, but she called back and she's like, hey, so City Furniture is going to be here today. Can you grab it? I'm like, I could, I guess, but I'm just going to have my pickup truck with me. And like I saw the photo and I should be able to fit it in there, but it's going to be a little tight. And then we're going to be picking up two 35-pound weight plates for $50. It's a pretty good fucking deal. So looking forward to that. But yeah, if you've ever been curious about Florida's dumps, this is what it looks like. So you have all the way up there to the very top. I've been waiting in line for like 15 minutes or so. So you're on an angle because I can't block my dash cam. But yeah, I have about, I don't know, maybe 20 trucks behind me. And then we still have like at least 15 trucks in front of me. The good thing about the dump, even though there's long lines, is that why are you telling me to turn backwards? My phone's being stupid. The good thing about the long lines is when there's city SWA trucks, I know it's going to go by fast because they just pull up, drop off, leave, and they have their own area. But when there's a lot of like pickup trucks and work trucks, it's going to take a while because now everyone's hand loading everything off. So that sucks. But it is what it is. So a couple of things we were talking on Andrew's live, and it sparked some old situations I used to think about. And when I first started the business, like there's a few things I did that I didn't know better and I just kind of winged and I thought were right. But I kind of learned over time, like I could have done this a little better. I could have done that differently. That could have saved me more money or whatever. So something that I would have changed if I could go back in time would have been to have a more structural setup ahead of time, almost like a business plan, but not quite like as fancy as a business plan. Just having like a marketing plan and knowing exactly when to upscale from when, like let's say I'm using Facebook as a platform and I'm on there, every single day posting and doing all this stuff, and I'm picking up a couple of jobs a week from Facebook. I know, okay, when I get to a point where I'm able to pull in $500 profit, not just the jobs itself, but actual percentage and profit off of Facebook jobs that I get through organic marketing, then I'll say, okay, now we're going to start boosting posts, or now we're going to start doing this. We're going to start investing a little bit of money into it to help increase that a little. And I wish I had done that for like every platform. Like the same thing with Google. After a while, if I'm organically pulling in results from Google, once I hit a certain threshold for profit and I have that money left over, maybe start running Google ads. It could be on a smaller scale. It doesn't have to be $2,000-$3,000 a month or anything, but just building on top of what I had already started organically and had a game plan for that versus going back and then, kind of doing the same thing over and over again. So I wish I had done that just a little bit differently. And then when it comes down to trucks, when I first started, if you guys don't know, I started off with U-Hauls. I had a little 4-door sedan. I did not have a pickup truck, did not have a trailer. I would use U-Hauls. I would basically book out jobs a couple of days in advance. Very rarely did I do the same day call and book because it really depended on if the U-Haul had trucks available. But I had that thing down to a science. Like I knew the average mile per gallon, whether it was empty or full. I knew exactly what the cubic footage or car yardage was for each truck. So I knew, okay, if it's a 1-bedroom apartment and there's a bunch of furniture and some boxes and miscellaneous stuff, I know, okay, I'm probably going to want to get at least a 15-foot truck. And that was like my go-to, which is 764 cubic feet, by the way, which is basically like a trailer and 3/4 of my current one, which is bigger than my 12-foot one. So I just knew for certain jobs to get a 15-foot truck to start with. Plus, it has a ramp, which makes it easier for loading. But if it was a smaller job, I would do a pickup truck. I have done a couple where like I do a delivery and a junk removal, so I'll get a cargo van because you can fit a couch in a cargo van. Or, if it was a big clean out or a big house clean out, I would get like the 20 or 26-foot U-Haul. And I've done jobs where I've had to do 4 trips in a 26-foot U-Haul, filling that thing up all the way. Now, U-Hauls, obviously, they're more costly in the moment, but unless you're booking jobs like every single day of the month, I actually found it to be a cheaper alternative than buying a vehicle early on, because the way I looked at it was I was still a professional mover and I worked like 3-4 days a week. And then I did the business in the off days. So I was only usually doing 1, maybe 3 jobs a week, if that. And I found that, okay, if I had gone out and let's just say I got a truck with a payment because I didn't have the reserved in savings to go buy a truck used. So let's say I went out and financed a truck. Maybe I got a trailer, a cheap one or something. Let's just say between commercial auto insurance and truck payments, I'm looking at least $500 to $700 a month in payments. So the fact that if I'm only operating 2 or 3 days a week, like if you divide that up by 30 and figure every single day you're not working, that's just money going out it's just going down the drain because you don't have any work coming in to supplement it. So at least by having the U-Hauls, I'm only renting a U-Haul when I actually have a job. So cost-wise, it kind of worked out, at least for me back then. I mean, nowadays it probably wouldn't be as cost advantage. And the biggest con with it was branding. You have no signage. You can stick magnets on the front doors, but the boxes are fiberglass, so you can't put a magnet on there. You can't run a banner anywhere. I thought about getting like a banner and running a bungee and clipping it on something. There's nowhere to clip. So you're kind of screwed all around. But that definitely was a good start for me, especially understanding like volume and understanding estimates and quotes and knowing how much to charge and whatnot. The hard part was when I had to drive all around, or if I had to go out to a job to give an estimate and they said, yeah, if we were happy with the price, we would want to do it on the spot, and maybe it's not close to me. So if I'm driving a half hour away with a U-Haul that I'm being charged by the mile, plus I have to replenish the gas on the spot, and I'm paying for the truck itself and the insurance for it, I might go out to this job to bid it. I'm already $50 in the hole just for the truck itself, whether I book the job or not, same mileage. And then let's say like, oh yeah, no, we're not comfortable with that. I just wasted $50. I can't do anything about that unless I lowball the shit out of the job, which is usually what would happen. I've only had that happen once though, and it was about 30 minutes away. So those are some of the cons with it. But if you're just starting off and you don't have a pickup truck, a trailer, or anything like that, I would recommend using rental trucks. Just try to be smart with it. I would reserve trucks in the areas I was going to if they weren't local. So like for me, I'm in Palm Beach County, kind of in the center. So I have like 13 cities in my county. If I'm going to the one way up north on the border, which is probably a good 40-45 minutes away from me on the highway, not even including like, local roads, then I'm looking at almost $55 in gas, or sorry, just mileage alone plus gas, figure about 8 to 10 miles per gallon. And then I have the truck itself. Like that could very easily be $100 truck. So what I would do instead is I would rent the U-Haul up in that area first and then do a job and just find the local dump and then just drive my car back. So I would save on that mileage. So like I mentioned, like I knew all the numbers ahead of time, but I also was in a position where I would book, a couple of days in advance and do this stuff versus having to, panic last minute. I've had to do that too. I've had a realtor call me. Like this is when I was like new and I knew working with realtors was good. But I had a realtor call and said, hey, I have this big clean out I need done. It has to be done today. The other guys didn't show up. Like I need you to be here and be done by 9 o'clock at night. Can you do that? And I was like, I mean, you're talking a big clean out. I'm going to need a big truck. It's hard to get a big truck in the middle of the day from a U-Haul. And I ended up having to go like 2 cities over to get a truck. And I went out and banged out that cleanup by myself. It took me like 6 hours, but I got it done. I just kept the U-Haul overnight and did it the next day, which, I mean, you lose a little bit of profit because you have to keep it overnight now and you have to pay for that extra day of rental. But I mean, I think that job was like 700-800, which for me back then was huge. So sometimes you just gotta make do with what you got. Now that people are trickling in, though, I'm sitting here by myself for 10 minutes. Good advice, glad you caught it live. Radio with U-Haul. Yeah, U-Hauls can be great. Hello, Hattie Bay. Hello, Audra and Alex. Yeah, we're sitting in the dump line. Good old Florida's infamous hour-long wait lines. I don't know if you guys can see, but so I have this much more up to the top, and then I have about probably 40 trucks behind me. I got here at like 12:27. Hang on. Right. I'm on an angle because I got my dash cam, but yeah, I have a delivery at 2 o'clock I have to do, so I'm gonna offload the shit out of this trailer as fast as possible. But yeah, so we're talking about things that would have changed if I could go back. I just came off of Andrew Thompson's live and I asked the question because I think it's a fun question, but then it got me thinking. So something else I would have done differently is I probably would have traded in my car earlier than I did and just got a pickup truck just to start with, because I was already getting U-Hauls to do like moving side jobs anyways. I had never done a junk removal prior to doing the business, but I have done a lot of small jobs and deliveries, like delivering a couch from point A to point B, going to pick up a 1-bedroom apartment, you know, like 10 pieces that the moving company is going to charge a couple of thousands of dollars for, that I'm going to go do for like $300 because I'll get it done in an hour, 2 hours. And that's all cash for me. You know, I'm not getting paid, you know, $14 an hour from a moving company before taxes, maybe get a tip. You know, it wasn't the most lucrative. So we would do a lot of side work to make up for it, which is where I got my dollies from. And I would do deliveries, side jobs, move labors, stuff like that. But if I had a pickup truck, at least I could have built some sides up on it, you know, to the point where like my helper has a Tundra, same size bed as me, but he has like 3 or 4 foot sides on his. He can basically fit 3/8 of my trailer in the back of his truck, and then he just runs straps all around it and, you know, whatnot. So I wish I had done something like that, because at that point I could have handled a lot of smaller jobs up to about a quarter of a load, which I could have probably charged $250, $300 for. And then if I had a big job, then go get the U-Hauls. But at least I'm saving on the cost in that, you know, early stages. So I wish I had done that a little sooner. And then that would have opened up my mind to say, okay, now we have a truck, well, now we need a trailer next. And I could have gotten into that a little earlier on. But I could have gotten a double axle instead of a single axle like I fucked up on. But I could have just done like basic wood size, keep it super simple, and just upgrade over time and kind of build my way up. So that's another thing I would have changed. Just financially, it would have made more sense, and then it would have been able to handle more jobs. Matthew asked, what kind of deliveries do you do? So now I only do like usually single items, maybe 2 items. Most often it's a couch that I have to deliver. And then back then I would do anything that could fit in a truck.
Hello, Moto.
I don't know if you guys can hear my phone calls. I get a lot of fucking spam calls. So yeah, trucks, branding, advertising, what else? Finance management. I am not too shabby at financing or managing my own money, like budgeting, keeping track of that, setting aside stuff for different expenses, stuff like that. But when it came to business, whole new ballgame. I did not know how much commercial auto insurance was going to cost. I did not know how much my general liability was going to cost. I did not realize how much a fucking truck payment is compared to a regular car. I did not know about all of the little itty bitty, updates and renewals you have to do every couple of months with the business and constantly keep that stuff up to par. So it was a lot of expenses I wasn't familiar with. And I just wish that, like, when I first started, I wasn't even taking money from the business. I was still working as a mover. I was still paying my bills. Everything was fine. I wasn't balling, but, I was fine. And I would only take money from the job if it was like a big job. Like if I get like $1,000 clean out, I might take a couple $100. Otherwise, I wasn't really paying myself. I didn't have any structure as to like how much I set aside for taxes ahead of time, how much I set aside for operations, how much I set aside for savings or, whatever. And that kind of screwed me big time in 2022. So like I started January 1st, 2021. That was like my first operation day. Everything before that, I was just like getting everything in place. And the first year part-time, I went super cheap in the beginning, did everything cheap. Like I printed out my own flyers and cut them up with scissors by hand using Google Documents. I got just business cards and kept it super simple. I did get uniforms, but I kept it really simple, and I only did 3 shirts. And then I got magnets on Vistaprint. This is before I knew about using marketing. I spent too much money on Vistaprint. I got magnets for my car, which I would use for estimates. And if anybody asked, I'd be like, it's a company car. Just keep it clean. And then eventually use it for the truck and the U-Hauls and stuff. But I try to do things very organically. Like I never paid for Google ads. I never paid for Facebook ads. I never did any kind of advertising. I tried Craigslist an ad once, and I got a shit ton of spam calls and text messages and emails, and quickly never did that again. And overall, I just always did things cheap. And I still didn't have a budget set aside for that. So that kind of screwed me up. And what I do is I do something similar to Mike Malekowitz's Profit First, which you didn't see him. He was at JunkCon in 2023, which is how I met him. But he has a book called Profit First where he talks about, basically you should be the first person pulling profit from your business, and then you pay everything else. And I don't have the availability for my bank to set up like numerous miniature accounts to separate stuff. That would have been freaking awesome to have an envelope system like that I can like nickname and stuff. I can't do that, but I do have an Excel breakdown of every single job I do. I mark down how much the job was, when it was, how much the disposal cost, how much tips I got if they were credit card tips, how much I paid labor, if any, how much my processing fee was, which I pay for, so it's basically reimbursed, or I charge, so it gets reimbursed. And then I do a percent breakdown. So I do roughly 40% pay to myself. So if I go do a job that would be $10,000, one day we'll get a $10,000 job. But if I were to do that, I would pay myself $4,000 of it. And then $3,000 of it would be set aside for operation expenses. And that would basically be for, the business bills and disposal, gas, any materials I had to buy for that job. That's all included in operations. And then you set aside the leftover into a savings for profit and or tax. So you're kind of predicting your tax by the end of the year, or you are setting aside profit. So if something comes up, that's the money you're pulling from versus having to pull from your operation expenses, which could jeopardize, having a missed payment or, something else going wrong. So that was kind of the reason for that. And since doing that, I've been much more capable and much more secure with how I do everything. So I wish I had just found out about that when I started. It would have saved me a lot of headache. We only got 5 trucks left. Been here for 40 minutes. This actually isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I do also have 3,700 pounds back here to offload as fast as possible. Audra, I read Profit First and set up all my accounts. It was great because that first job was a clean out and I was able to put aside money for taxes. There you go. Yeah, I mean, any kind of structure you can do is great. Like doing the Excel sheets for me has been a game changer. I used to keep track on paper, but the Excel sheets, I can now kind of just click on the square and drag it down and add up that whole month. And then I total everything. And then at the end of the year, I'll just go back and add those 12 columns together. And then I have my total labor paid out for the year. I have the total amount of processing fees I have for the year. I have the total amount of disposal for the year. I know how much, how much I set aside for the year, and then I can look at my bank account at the end of the year. Okay, what's the difference? I can know how much I paid myself without having to sit there and add up every single member draw or how much my tips were. So it just makes things easy to always track things and keep things columnized and have something like that where you don't have to sit there and use a calculator to add up every single item. So finances, I'm not even going to get into the legal stuff on a live. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I figured who you were, Ajoros. I know. Let's see. What about solo work? Who here does work on their own? Who runs things solo? I've been solo since day one. I have a helper. He's a 1099. I'll use them on really big jobs or complicated jobs, or if it's even if it's a small job, but it's a complicated piece and I risk damage of the property, I'll hire him. But I usually pay him $40 an hour because we work together. Like, I help him on his moves, he helps me. But it's $40 an hour. I normally won't do anything less than like $60 to $70 if he's having to drive out to me, even if it takes me 10 minutes and then he has to drive back home. So I'll usually have like a minimum. And then, yeah, he's only out like out of every 15 jobs I do, he helps me once. So that's how solo I am. And then my fiance helps me more because she kind of wants to just hang out with me. It's not so much, that like I need her to be there, but it's just more fun. So still running solo. I was telling Andrew the other day, we're talking on the phone, not Andrew. I was talking to Matt the other day from Sonoma. I still enjoy the work. Like, I enjoyed when I was a mover. I enjoyed that job. I just didn't like the customers. I didn't like the company, and I didn't like the stress behind it. But I enjoy the core concepts of moving. Like getting a really big piece through a tight doorway, getting it all out and stuff without causing damage, especially by yourself, is like rewarding. It's like very satisfying. So I've always enjoyed that concept. And I still enjoy that in junk removal because I'm doing all the same things. The biggest pro of it, though, is that I don't have to worry about the condition of the piece. If I'm wheeling out a glass dresser, for example, 100% glass dresser, they're the stupidest fuck in the world. Whoever invented them needs to go, touch grass. But an all glass dresser that's all just tempered glass glued on, it's really easy to apply too much pressure and crack the whole thing. And as a mover, that sucks. But as junk removal, if I thought it might break, I would just shrink wrap the whole thing, so if it does crack and shatter, it stays within the shrink wrap. But for the most part, slap it on a dolly, roll it out. If I catch, if I go over a bump too fast on my way out, or hit a weather strip too hard and it cracks a piece, it doesn't matter. The only thing now is I can't sell it anymore, or I can't donate it. I'll throw it out happily. I have too many bad memories with those things. But sorry, I'm reading comments. Yeah, like for junk removal, like as long as I'm not banging up door frames or scratching floors or walls or putting holes in walls or doing anything stupid, like it's just tremendously more easy to not have to worry about the piece's condition. Like if I want to bring that stained glass thing down 4 stairs, 4 flights of stairs, and it shatters on the way down, it's fine. I'll just go clean it up. I don't have to worry about the fact that like, oh shit, we're gonna have to put in a claim now. I'm gonna lose $200 on my paycheck. I gotta reimburse the person. No, it just goes in the truck. It's trash. So that's a very like big pro for moving. It's basically moving without consequences, as long as I'm not screwing up the property. And I still enjoy the work. To me, it's not terribly hard. Like I can get tired, I'll still run into some heavy pieces the same as before, but I'm not doing all the work. The dollies, This guy right here, this guy is doing 10 times more work than I am on any given basis. This little guy right here is holding up to 800 pounds while I'm just sitting here pushing it. That's all I'm doing. I'm just using leverage and technique to get it onto the dolly and the hand truck and then controlling it on the way out. I'm not doing all the work. You know, it's just I'm a supplement at that point. But anyways, I still enjoy the work and I will continue to go solo until I can't anymore, basically. I do have intentions of bringing my fiance on with me full time in September because she just wants to leave her job, which is a hard pill to swallow because she makes a lot more money than even the business does. So it gets kind of hard. But she just wants to get out of that field and kind of do her own thing. So she's going to join me to work as like kind of supplement income and then do her own thing as well. So around that time frame, our goal is to grow the business to where we can hire at least one full-time employee that I can trust to not screw me over legally, and then have her work here and there. And I'll still probably go do some jobs like on my own or something. But that's kind of the game plan, is to still run solo and kind of do like a Matt and JoJo situation. I told them that like years ago. We met them back in 2021. And I told them that I like the way they run, like just him and JoJo, and then they have Julio for eventually full time. And then they have some other people like in the background that works every now and then just for like part-timers. But I like that small, tight circle where you don't have to worry about, you know, people not showing up or people stealing from you or something stupid like that, or having a legal issue or someone breaks their leg and now you have a workers' comp claim, and, you know, I just don't want to deal with all that. So, good job. Come on, motherfucker. I hate when people like leave massive gaps at the dump. Like, we're all trying to go. He's gonna go in. You're gonna sit here and not see it. We're all gonna get stuck here. I forgot I was on live for a second. What do you call it? So, yeah, when I'm solo, or if you're solo, something I would recommend is have a hand truck. Probably can't see mine, but it's back here. Have a hand truck. Have a four-wheeler dolly, a good quality one if you can. Orientation. Have a good quality four-wheeler with like 3 to 4 inch caster wheels that has a weight capacity of at least 600 pounds or more. Have a hand truck. Have mattress bars if you can. I talk about them all the time. You guys need to get mattress bars if you're solo. They are freaking outstanding. And like, they make so many things so easy. Like, it's not just mattresses, which if you've ever moved a really floppy king mattress before, they suck. They really suck, especially if you go through an apartment building and storage in it, they suck. So get mattress bars, get speed packs. If you can't get a speed pack, get something big that you can put a bunch of small stuff in and fill up, because it's going to save you a lot of time. Even if you're solo, it's one thing if you have employees, because obviously you'd be saving on the hourly rate. But even if you're on your own, like, you can save so much time and energy. Where the fuck do you want me to go? Letting people in here prematurely. I hate the dump sometimes. So yeah, I'm in the dump if you can't tell. I'm going to hop off live, unless you guys want to sit here in silence for 20 minutes and watch the other side of the dump while I offload my trailer. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to go this way. I'm going to go park by vegetation because you guys are screwing with me. Back it up, back it up. Back it up, up. Back it up. Hello, sir.
Hello, Moto.
I don't know how to end. Fuck. Where do you want me to go? They let me in here too early. I'm just sitting here blocking everyone's way. Like a sitting duck. They got people calling me, leaving voicemails and texting me. I don't know how to end the live. I've only done this on my computer. See, even the guy in the bulldozer doesn't know where he could go. He's like looking around. He just gave me, he's like, I don't know. I was like, you let me in here. Well, fuck it, I guess we'll keep talking. So, yeah, speed packs if you can. If you can't get them, get Gorilla cards, get brute trash cans on wheels. You can attach them to your dolly and kind of just roll them. You know, anything that can minimize your overall time and energy output is kind of like the whole idea. So I would recommend anything along those lines. You can literally just get a regular trash can and handle stuff that way. But yeah, when it comes to doing, you know, when you have a four-wheeler, stick a dresser on it, stick a nightstand on top of it, you know, and like minimize your amount of trips that you take. All you're trying to do is make things easier and faster for yourself. That's it. So that's that. I really can't tell if he's waiting. Oh, there we go. All right, we found a spot. He's gonna go clear it for me. Communicate with the guy in the bulldozer that can't hear me. Sounds like he wants me to go right here in this little front pile. You know, they say you get a dump trailer is so fast. This guy has had his thing up for like 5 minutes now. I could have offloaded half my fucking trailer in that time frame. Now you gotta wait for it to slowly come back down with the tarp system. Alright, we're going to a new spot. Fucking chaotic in here. It's 106. I have to offload my trailer, go pick up the recliner from storage, drop off the trailer, and then go to deliver a couch by 2 o'clock, and then go to a place a half hour away from me to meet my fiance's dad for lunch, and then go pick up a couch for a realtor, and then go pick up something I'm buying for myself at like 6 o'clock. Can I go right here? Can you let me go right here? I keep pushing stuff around. I want to go right there, but your bulldozer's not. I haven't ended the live because I don't know how to turn it off. My phone's like frozen on the screen. So you guys might just be sitting there while I offload, and I'll have to figure it out later. Can you let me go? Oh my god. Can I go? Can I go? Thank you, Jesus Christ. I think I waited longer to back into here than I did half the time at the dump. Of course, now everyone's done and leaving. Fucking typical. Typical. Pick it up on an angle. Because I got some trash here. Okay, you guys are gonna look at the dump because I don't know how to do anything. You're welcome to X out whenever. I'll edit this later. Alright, there's still somebody in here. So, if you're from before, sorry about the delay. My phone like screen froze and I couldn't turn off the live. And I didn't have time to sit here and figure it out. And if you're new, relay to the same note I just mentioned. So, we just got done dumping. I need to go pick up the recliner from my storage. Hopefully it doesn't rain, Jesus. Deliver that for an extra $60 on top of selling it for $50. And then do some other stuff. I'm tired. Freaking guy who was talking to me about junk removal for like 5 minutes. And I was like, I don't want to be rude, but I need to go. Like, you're interfering with my dump time. So, I don't know where we were. We're just going to keep talking though, because I'm tired. We were talking about solo work, equipment, what to do if you're on your own. Turn you away so you don't hear this guy talk. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Have a good day. We're back. See how much it costs to dump all that. $50.82. It was. How much was it? 2,420 pounds. Is how much we just dumped off. Which is all the stuff from that clean out yesterday. You know, I'm coming from a single axle trailer that's 12 feet long. So like my usual dump fees were like $40 if it was full truck. Now with this trailer, because it's like almost twice the size, it's like everything's around like 50 to 60, which I know isn't a lot for some of you guys, but our dump fees are $42 for a ton of trash. So for me, anything over 42 when it's just trash is kind of a lot. Oh, hey, Andrew was here. Yeah, we had a little mishap with the phone. It froze on me. I couldn't turn off the live. Freaking Moto powers. But since we only have one straggler left, I think we'll end it here. I'll see you guys next time. Wait, let's see if I can figure this shit out. Turn off. Oh, okay, that's all I had to do.